Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Statera podcast. Today I'm joined by a woman who wears many hats and has many different skills and abilities, amongst which she's an Arcturian Starseed, planetary healer. I've had to write it down a little bit. Author, speaker, facilitator of ancient breathwork, and also QHHT, past life regressions and beyond. Honi Borden, HoniB, how are you?
Hello, Adrian. Good morning.
Yeah, and we're exactly 12 hours difference between us, so I'm in my night tonight, but due to technology, we're able to do this, which is fantastic.
Thank heavens for technology. It's amazing.
Definitely. Yeah, and I mean, to everyone out there who knows about HoniB and myself, I just so much love for each other. It's just, Honey, you've been such an important part of my life over the last 12 months, and yeah, it's fantastic to be able to have a Statera podcast with you today. So thank you.
Yeah, finally we get to do this because in Australia we couldn't quite do it in person, right? Because
Yeah,
the frequency was so strong, so we had to come across the oceans to have this podcast happen. It's perfect. And
exactly.
we'll see why as we enter this space of speaking about whatever Great Spirit wants us to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we it was really interesting. It's the first time it's ever happened out of like 40 odd episodes that I'd recorded. We were talking, and then after about 45 minutes, I just had this feeling something wasn't quite right. Went and checked the recording, and it had stopped after 6 minutes or something, 7 minutes, and it was quite tangible, the conversation that we had. It was a lot of it was about heart, and living from the heart. And yeah, I
And the
remember the
power of the heart.
yeah, and I just remember it was quite palpable, the atmosphere and energy in the room that morning when we did that. So
And we both had to sleep after that because we were exhausted.
yeah, we were, weren't we? That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
But
So
I think it was sort of meant to happen as well. Like, you know,
yeah,
as
it's
things
a
do.
lot, exactly, because a lot of there were other components that were playing a part, and there was that week where you were going through your own transformation, moving, creating that ascension within you. So, and sometimes something has to be stable around, like the container, as the transformation is taking place. It's quite remarkable being a witness of it, and
Yeah,
then being able to witness, you know time after that, just to see how you have transitioned in that space, and then being able to yourself live from that space. So it's just it's such a gift to be a witness to it from
yeah.
this.
Oh, thanks, honey. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's certainly been an interesting time, both while you were here in Perth, for not only myself, but a lot of different people here, but also since you've been away as well, and since you left our shores. And yeah, I've definitely got a belief that people come into your life at different stages of your life as it's needed, and as long as you're in the right heart space, and as long as you're, just as simply as doing the best you can, you do attract those people around you and experiences around you that you need in order to shine a light, I guess, is how would you describe it in order
Well,
to,
I feel in my line of work, Adrian, as you know, with all the regressions that I do and other healing light services and what have you, but particularly with the regressions, what I've seen over and over and over, there's this soul agreement on a soul level that we've made agreement to find each other here back on earth and be able to do the work together. So many of us have shared many lifetimes together. And then when we first see each other, like the way it was you and I when we met in London in my ancient sacred breath work, like there was this energy that brought us together, and there was just incredible space right away, but without explanation. And so many times we have experienced that we meet somebody, we can't explain it, but as if we've known them all our lives, but we just met them. But because it's not from this incarnation, it comes from many incarnations, many lifetimes that we have shared. And then here we come back to be able to, whether it's karma we're cleaning, or whether it's the soul wants to create, has agreed so that it can evolve further or what have you. And some of us that are part of the sort of like the bigger mission, which is at the planetary level, we find each other because our work involves in that, and then everything starts like falling into place. Not falling into place, I feel it's more coming into place, so the foundation is set properly, and that way we can be of the highest service together, because the whole work is together. And that's what it was clearly with you and I, because when we met, and just that word Australia, the minute you said that to me, that's sort of when in my field, and then slowly that started moving into my field. When then this is part of the planetary work with the Arcturians, then that information started pulling in where I need to be. And so much was already, and especially the other group in London in September, all the different sessions I did kept pointing to Australia, New Zealand, Hawaii, and Philippines was coming up. So there was something was shifting there. And this is what brought me back to Australia, as then you and I had the privilege and honor to be on the land together and witness sort of what happens in that level when the healing work just for the land takes place. So of course we come together to support each other. Yeah. And then and that's the key, because it's such advanced level of work. Hi, Wufi. It's such advanced level of work, because when we come together, we integrate, we collaborate, we really come in unity. Then we also go apart to continue our work, but we're sustained. There's a sustainability in anchoring in the heart vibration, which really is strong. And I feel, if anything, that's something that happened between you and I. Our bond became even stronger. And the tribe in Perth, very strong, particularly teaching the ancient sacred breath there, anchoring that light there, and everything else that will come after it. And there's this independence, but complete freedom. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. And on a couple of points there, I mean, firstly, you touched on that about still connect, and just briefly on what we spoke about technology, allowing us to really, we don't have to send a letter anymore that takes 2 months to get to the person on the other side of the world. Yeah. We can talk in real time, face to face, like you and I do right now, through a machine that's made of a bit of plastic and metal, and it's fantastic. And that being able to support each other is a very, very important facet of the progression that each and every one of us is going through. I mean, it's all well and good to experience something and learn something, but you really need to have that support around you then moving forward to really be able to then keep progressing. And it's just quite incredible what's happening in all these different parts of the world. And that's right. Something that you're a huge part of, Honi. So perhaps you can talk a little bit about that. You're residing in LA at the moment, but you were previously in Washington, D.C., but for the last 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah, I've been living in the U.S. for 30 years in Washington, D.C. till Spirit had me position myself then in Los Angeles, because in 2014, about 10 months of it was focused in Europe, many different countries in Europe. And then when that work sort of got wrapped up, and work means in terms of the anchoring the light at specific places, that has to do with the grids and Earth. So as a planetary worker, I am also an Arcturian Starseed. I am working on a particular grid system, which I won't go into too much detail about what that is. But what it is to anchor light at specific areas in which it reshifts the energy of the land, in which brings it to a state of balance, so that it creates the new higher dimensional frequencies from 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th dimensional frequencies to be anchored there, which is of the highest love vibration, unity, and community, so that it can set the vibration platform for the new cities of light, so which involves a lot of communities. So the last 5 years, I've been very busy involved in creating circles and circles, which at that time, I didn't know what exactly it was, why I'm feeling called to do this. I just kept bringing people circle, just to sit in each other's presence, chant, meditate, and celebrate sharing meal, but not really fully recognizing until about 3.5 years ago when I had the actual death experience when I was on the other side. That's when so much was explained to me, and then I sort of like run off with it. And so when I go to all these different countries, one part of it is when I teach the ancient sacred breath, the alchemical breath, there's certain, and it's a very advanced level of breath work, which you have taken. You already been in that vibration in London, saw it in Perth, you recognize how powerful it is, and the individuals recognizing that breath and its and the power in which you have in create new realities for Earth. So a lot of us starseeds and some of the incarnates that are here, volunteers, we're here to bring forth that higher dimensional light that we have access within us, to anchor it through us, through our temple, in our vessel, and then be able to anchor it out of our feet into Earth. And so when we gather in a small gathering of the same vibration, we are like a very giant pillar of light that connects to all the other parts around Earth. And we relate, and we're able to expand with Gaia, as Mother Earth already knows. She's already moved to that higher dimension, and we're able to then live in the same vibration, same harmony, same musical tone together with her, same pulse with her. And that's connected directly to our heart, because our heart, there is a coherence between the heartbeat. Each heartbeat, there's a space in between it. And the emotions in that heartbeat is directly connected to the grids on Earth. There's actually profound science around this at Heart Math Institute that has been able to measure what you feel, how its impact is on Mother Earth. So like when we become really aware, and when we say living in the heart, we're able to be very conscious with our step action, consciously walking in with our breath and our emotion, responsible in our vehicle for Mother Earth. So when I'm on travel, there are all these individuals who are pretty advanced. They feel called to be in my very intimate class, and then they're part of anchoring this energy. And then of course when I do the past life regressions and beyond, they're able to see some of the past lives related to here. And of course when I speak to the highest self, then the highest self is able to explain quite a bit and how they're connected to all these other ones around different parts of the world that we've incarnated to find each other again. So it's like a movie. I'm inside a movie, and everybody else is part of it. It's wild, and it's amazing, and it's quite incredible, the gift of being able to be of service for Mother Earth, for ourselves, humanity, and Mother Earth. That's how I really feel. It's an honor, just an honor.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolute honor, and just an absolute blessing. And the gratitude that you feel from that once you really step into that is so immense, and it really just perpetuates things. So yeah, it's been a real motivation for me to see you doing what you're doing, honey, and especially, I mean, I've only known you for 12 months, but I have an idea of what you were doing before that as well, and obviously been very fortunate to be quite close to you in these last 12 months and share your stories. It's been a huge honor, so thank you for that. It's it's helped me tremendously. With the breath work, it's something that I'd like to talk about a little bit more, because I guess and I've spoken about it on this podcast before, but in the last couple of years I've used plant medicines, so like an external agent to be able to help me to enter a state or a realm where I can then heal or help others, and many that you come into contact with do the same as well. But what the work you do with the ancient breath meditation allows is for you just to be able to do that exact same work, but without anything exterior, without anything external. Now, it's not to say it's that plant medicines are right or wrong or anything like that, but that we do have the ability each and every one of us as individuals, as individual autonomous agents, to affect not only ourselves but also affect the world around us. So yeah.
Absolutely. I'm so glad, Adrian, you brought that up, because that's been a huge part of, being able to bring the higher education forward, because I feel as we expand further, moving from our, physical body to our higher dimensional bodies, particularly accessing our spiritual body and living in our physical body, but from that vantage point, we recognize this incredible template we're in and this supreme power and gift in it. And the physical body becomes a real, you develop this deepest appreciation and gratitude for the sacredness of the vessel. So not just the stimuli, but also the body being shared, like in terms of from sexual, interaction. Everything changes because you recognize this is a very sacred vehicle, and that lungs are so supremely sacred. I'm going to put the most beautiful, like when I breathe in, that's the Great Spirit's breath I'm bringing into my lungs, which is very much part of the Native American culture, right? And like, I will not put something else to disrupt that Great Spirit's breath in my lungs. So if you know about, for example, the sacred tobacco is such a profound medicine, tobacco, but it was never designed to inhale it ever. So in the Native American cultures, they would use the medicine of tobacco, put it in a pipe, they would inhale the Great Spirit breath into their lungs. So much reverence for the lungs that work with heart. Then the out breath, smoke, blow, so that the tobacco would be in the smell. Never putting it in their lungs, ever. How much reverence for these. But so much has shifted. So, like for example, plant. We are on a planet that's a goddess. Earth is a goddess, which is 80% water. And it's a cosmic library. It's a living library. All of these are designed for you to recognize your own divine nature and truth. Divine nature and truth is not smoking that pot, with all due respect, that smoke getting into it. You can use its oil without all the other things to be able to receive the medicine. Arcturians had showed me you can use it, put it at the palm of your hand, put your hand in. As you develop higher sensitivity, you can receive the same medicinal property of it. What it is the wisdom of it coming into you just by this. So we've been conditioned because we've been so removed from the higher nature of what is divine truth within us. And then it's been, with all due respect, I'm not here to say who should do what. I'm only here to share what you have already within you. So for example, if that marijuana is a very sacred plant, and when we treat it with that same sacredness, we're able to use the medicinal property in very different way within us, that it's in harmony, nature with us. So there's the music and the sound inside of us is going. But what happens when we disrespect it, to me is disrespected that way, because we've forgotten the incredibleness of it,
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
supposed to also to me is with ayahuasca, that is so sacred. But what happens, people have this dependency and to because they feel I need to do this in order for me to do this. No, when Mother Earth opens her womb, her library is available to you, then she shows you everything else. I'm an example of being able to access like the records in Earth, being able to go into the cities without anything, because it's already equipped within. It's not because I'm special. It's designed in all of us, but it's the discipline to recognize, first taking the acceptance, this is a holy temple. I'm going to keep it so vibrationally clean, very clean. And from that cleanness, being able to dive and use my breath, being able to open through the bottom of my feet enter into the kingdom of that knowledge and wisdom and let that wisdom guide me, but without ever hurting my beautiful vessel. This is a borrowed body in this incarnation. So it's a very different level of consciousness. And what it is, because a lot of times we use this, we've been told, well, it's medicine, but medicine is there to support you when you need it. But when you're trying to numb it because you're not dealing with the emotional body, all the emotion, the energy in motion trapped in the emotional body, with all the respect, it's irresponsibility because it doesn't have the courage to be able to see things that are trapped in the vibrational of the body, particularly in the emotional body in entrapment. So the energy is more in the mental body. So then we feel we need these to be able to relax and anxiety and what have you, because we're constantly avoiding feeling the pain in the emotional body. But that's going to continue to be there until we're able to have it fully be released from our system. So when I teach the ancient sacred breath, it's for individuals to tap in, and it's for those who've done their inner work. As you know, Adrian, they're already spiritually awakened, and they can recognize, wow, I can use my breath to start breathing with Mother Earth. I can co-create the new realities for Earth. So you're in a very empowered state. And when you're in an empowered state, you see, I don't need any stimuli on the outside. I am equipped pretty profoundly, and this is the most spectacular machine that I have, right? And I'm able to do a lot of good with this vehicle. That's a very different, and then you're very responsible with it. So that's the difference in it. So, and although, let me just step one more further. So one of the other things Arcturians have showed me, because some of the challenges in when individuals come, for example, I'm able to see their auric field. Many individuals have holes and tears in their auric field. Often when they have these holes and tears in their auric field, they also have very weak lower three chakras.
Can you just quickly explain the auric field, Honi, for
sure. So, yes, of course. So the auric field, each of us have this field around us. So, you know, I would say about 1 foot to 2 foot around our body, 2 feet around our body. Sometimes it's a little bit smaller, sometimes it's a little bit wider. It all depends on the vibrational speed of the individual. Also, that means their speed of rotation, how physically dense they are, how expanded into their light truth they are. So that really determines this auric field. And that auric field sometimes very murky, sometimes it's very bright. And all of this has to do with that's a field around you that it's like water. Like if you look at the lake, that calm water around, that's a field that divine has given you, right? So, and when it gets disturbed, the fields get disturbed. So then we have all this like just imbalance and challenge and difficulty and all of this. But it's related to your chakras. So all of your chakras are related to this whether this is imbalance or imbalanced state. So when I look at someone's auric field, I'm able to tell if they have tears, holes, debris, whatever is in that, or things that are stuck there, whatever it is. So, and when that is, for example, often they can't meditate because it's too cluttered in there. You know, often, for example, they're not in a, they have anxiety, they have this, and there's all this manipulative energy from like money, sex, power, which is governed by these lower three chakras, because the lower three chakras are weak. They're not in the proper vibration, rotation, saturation, hue, color, any of that. It's just very, and often all of those are related to a lot of our drama from our, you know, this incarnation, but also things coming from other incarnations. So, and these are related. So, and then what happens is like individuals who do, I'm talking about particularly smoking, that's the big one. When they smoke, for example, pot, and especially when these are weak already, they open up more, the auric field opens up more to tears and holes. So then there are these other mischief energies, we call them, or energies that are opposing of light, sitting there. They're best friends, though, however. No fear of them. They're just, we call them dark energy. They're sitting there, boom, they come right through. And then the individual not functioning properly, it's a mess in their system. Then it becomes more controlling, more, domineering, more, all of those things like competition, all of this becomes quite a bit here. And those are there. Again, I really want to, I'm glad we're talking about this, Adrian, because I want to take us to this place where many people are very afraid of dark energies, dark forces, dark. Yes, it can really mess up the system quite a bit. I agree. But it's same thing as it's the same energy as the light. It is there. You cannot access the light without your darkness. We're really not afraid truly of our darkness. We're afraid of our light because the light is where our true power is, which is right here. That is there. That is there to show individual that this vibration in you is not in balance, is not in harmony. So there's somewhere in there where there's an energy trapped in motion. So the emotion is stuck. It's not vibrating. It needs to be visited. When you're able to then view it, see it in the current state you're not, then it transmutes. So the energy wants to transmute. So they're actually best friends. And I feel like a lot of people are like, I'm going to remove the entities. Many people are walking with entities because they're in their field, in their system. But they're there for purpose. If you recognize, not just take them out. So sometimes people ask me, honey, can you remove the entities from me? I've been positioned particularly not to take them. It's been to empower you to learn how to live in your system so that way you are very grounded in your heart, in your truth, and your chakras are balanced, your auric field. We're not taught when we start school how to take care of our energetic bodies. We're barely taught, you've done things about like food, just the food, like how to even put the proper food in our body, let alone like our energetic body, our auric field, you know?
Yeah.
So, but when we learn how to take care of this, then we're living from our higher spiritual body in this vessel. So we live a life of ease and peace and joy and harmony and community and unity, and we are able to live for the highest good of us, for the highest good of all. So it never becomes for the selfish purpose of me. It doesn't. That it's a oneness energy when we live from the heart.
Sure.
So all of that ties into recognizing your sacred breath is connected to your heart. You have incredible power in there. That's where the power is. Power not from the ego. I'm talking about your divine nature power. And from there you can do a lot of good. It's impossible. It is virtually impossible to do wrong here. I don't believe in the word of wrong. You cannot do harm here because it doesn't support that energy vibration. This energy is the love vibration energy. Harmony. It's celebration, joy for all. It's a oneness energy. It's impossible to do harm here. But here, duality does a lot of harm. Yeah, because it's operating from opposition.
Sure. That opposition is also necessary, like you said, to be able to. It's like a resistance that we can like work with in order to grow. Like we need, as a human being in this realm, we need that resistance. I feel, in that duality brings about. It's very good. Contrasts are important. We do live on Earth. Earth in the cosmos has a very interesting reputation, Adrian. So when the clarion call went out that Earth needs assistance because, it went to different star system, and it's like, okay, some of those ones that have incarnated our Earth have been kind of irresponsible because it's more denser. So many of the other brothers and sisters of light decide they're like, we're not going there. Those are
we have quite a reputation in the cosmos, those of us who've incarnated. It's very interesting. Earth is considered a mastery school, and also a lot of rebels are here, and at the same time, it's a place where a lot of irresponsibility is here because of the denser vibration, because we are in physical bodies, it's more dense. And when souls incarnate there, they're able, through the contrast friction, they're able to expand higher as a soul. So for example, let's say we're in our higher dimensional body in Arcturus, right? There's not enough, like I can't experience like touch like the way we can touch, right? Or the food in that way because we're in our light. But when we're able to be here on Earth, we're able to experience it. You see, it's a different experience. And because it's dense, it gives us a whole different richness. And at the same time, this contrast, when it is stuck in the denser vibration, we do a lot of harm with it because we've forgotten the higher aspect of it. It is used so that it's, I would say it this way, we're designed to come and live in our higher truth through our heart, working with the divine mind. Mind is very important, Adrian. But we have been living from the mind, not living from the heart, which has been living in duality. Do you see the difference?
Sure.
So when we're living from here, we have been living not from our center. Mind is a tool, an important tool, very important tool, but we've been living from it. So we've been living from a place of, with all due respect, limitation, not full expansion. But when we come back to the heart, we're connected to the supremeness of all that which we are, and the entire support around this, which is in the fabrics of life. Then the divine mind can work with us to do its job, because this can focus. And it's like living in the heart, it's like you're in the ego's wingspan, and then when you want to use the mind, you single focus it, come down to earth, come down, you know, to, let's say, that's how it is. But if you're just, as an ego, imagine an ego just walks. Just imagine, it doesn't fly. It can't do its job properly. And that's how it is with us humans. We're supposed to live from that incredible wingspan, come back here, go back, but stay in there. Come back and then come here, do the work, and stay back up here. Like, that means bring that energy into us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, beautiful analogy. It really is. And I really like the one you used when you were here as well, about the heart, using the heart to say, be able to view the galaxy, all the stars within the galaxy, but the mind, use the mind to focus in on just that one star, just that one.
So like when you look at the night sky, exactly. So if you look at the night sky, if you take like a little tiny telescope and you look like this and you're looking like one star, that's how the mind's job is to focus, which works with the divine masculine energy, which is so important. Focus. But when we remove that, we look at the fullness. Like when we were in the land together, we saw like the Milky Way, right? Like that is the heart. The heart is connected to the vastness, which is the divine feminine energy. There is no form. So the mind, form, and then the formless. So it's constantly this dance, which is the same dance that's in the cosmos. It's through this dance, right, that heartbeat takes place, which is the same inside our heart, right? Sure. And it's just connected to the same rhythmic of all the natural, right? But when we're only operating from here, we're only operating from the vertical axis. That's it, single. So we lose sight of everything else. Then we're truly not living in balance. So then what has happened, that has been the operating system that has brought disharmony in living with Earth. So we know like all these tall buildings, that's creative energy. But again, you see vertical, disharmony, digging Mother Earth, digging with disrespect, no connection with her, no, you know, complete separation. Then we're living out of our own, we're living out of separation from the nature. So we can't feel our nature. We can't feel our own rhythm, right? So then we forgot, and then we need stimuli to, you know, pretend for us to get to somewhere. But there's a divineness inside. There's a divine essence inside, already equipped so profoundly that gives us the ability to live from that place. That option also exists once we become reminded, oh wow, I am a sacred holy being in this, and I'm able to do a lot of good from this place.
Sure. And perhaps, honey, you can, like anyone who's watching this at the moment, any individuals understanding that they are living too far in the mind and want to bring it into the heart, start living from the heart more, how they can do that. Now, I'd like to just bring it around to plant medicines and psychedelics just quickly. For me, I believe that's what they have been able to do and to show me, is to really give me an understanding of the breadth of my expansiveness in this universe and bring me such just absolute amazement and gratitude. But I agree with you, like you said, it's not something that it should be a focus in your life and the only thing, like a crux, which I have seen as well, some people use it as a crux. To me, I believe the use of plant medicines and psychedelics are like, because I'm worried of human beings, because we don't have the education, like you said, we're not taught from an early age how to live with our divine presence. If we try to go out and do it, we're like a candle in the wind, or a shopping bag in the wind. We're just floating around. There's no direction for us. But what I've found, what plant medicines are able to do, as long as they're facilitated in a ritual ceremony with a shaman who can direct, it can bring you to that understanding of let's even say Christ consciousness. It really can do that. But
I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know you do. But again, it's then the key then is to, once you've felt that and experienced that, is to do that yourself. But if you haven't, if you don't want to, or you don't feel that's your path, honey, what could you suggest to people out there who want to look at really bringing it to the heart, understanding their divine nature, and really living with that expansiveness for everyone? What can people do?
I feel this is such a great question, Adrian, because that's something that constantly comes up all the time. How I want to, but how really can I? And this has also been for myself, you know, first being awakened to the power of the heart, then start experiencing more and more the window of that heart, then start living more. It's a process. It's not overnight, you know, unless you've had, but even with myself, somebody who has had a death experience and then back, open up. Okay, so I went through it faster than most individuals, but it is still a journey, because it's a journey of undoing a lot that's been conditioned. So first, my heart goes out because the single most important step is the courage to start. That is the most important step, because once you choose exercising your power of choice, then the universe, the cosmos also comes to support you in that vibration, in that. So anything to do, anything that has to do with nature will support you. So from rivers and oceans to, you know, being around flowers and animals, anything that you're in more natural setting, you are going to be trees. Your whole vibration raises to that. They don't lower their vibration for you. You will rise. That's why you feel so good. You know, any body of water cleanses, because it's, you're going to be more in that state that is in the harmony of truth in which you are, which has to do with the toroidal field, the tube torus. It's going to make you feel better. Now, of course, there's all sorts of healing and stuff to bring it more closer to the balance, but I feel the most important step is the choice. And that choice gives you the courage. The courage is important, which is that fuel in here. And be able to, with art, anything with arts, the music that is more in harmony, you know, all of this is very, very important. And I'm glad you mentioned about if, for example, you do go to ayahuasca or you do smoke the pot, whatever that is, give it space to then integrate that higher knowledge into you. When you do that, when I, like in a lot of my, the retreats, I facilitate retreats twice a year international. I've been doing that for years. And a lot of like particularly a lot of my goddess circles that I facilitate and teach, when you come, you have this powerful weekend experience. What is so important is that the education is not there afterwards, often is missing, because you've prepared often before. You go into the experience, you have this profound experiences like, oh, wow, awakening and all of this. But then when you go back straight into your environment, which is the biggest problem, your environment is at a setting of vibration that is of older energy. You have entered a new energy, new frequency, and you need to shift your environment to match the new one. So very simple tools, for example, I tell people, you know, go immediately buy something new clothes, something, shirt, pants, underwear, whatever, something new that is supporting the new vibration. Change your sheets, move, if you can't move, don't worry. You know, move your furniture around, you know, shift the line. If you need to color your room, color your room. You need to do certain steps. If the friends, everything is going to be changing. You must understand change is inevitable. So when you have any of this experience, because your vibration goes up higher, your frequency raises, anything that doesn't match has to go. So the pain and suffering comes when we are not allowing that to take place. We still want to hold on to the energy that was of previous before we entered the space. So then that creates those contradictions and it doesn't allow us to move forward into the direction that we're guided to go into. You see what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
Very important after that. It's so essential. And be with the same vibration frequency of people who are similar experience, just that vibration. And it's okay. Like, you're not going to not love your friends. If you can, again, trusting. What do I feel? It doesn't quite feel right for me to talk to this friend right now because it feels heavier every time I talk to it. Have enough self-love to be like, okay, for a while I just can't because I want to marinate more in the space that I am. You see, self-love, Adrian, becomes the biggest part. And self-love is all here. What do I feel? And you know, like the word that I've been working with you quite a bit. I think I'm going to do this. I always tell people, shift the word I feel with what I think, because right away you bring the energy right here of owning it. Because when we say, I think, we're constantly in doubt. We're not in a knowing. But when I say, I feel, you bring all the energy here. I feel I'm going to do this. I feel I'm going to do this. I feel I'm going to go have coffee. I feel I'm going to eat salad. I feel I'm going to go there tonight. Because you're empowering the heart. You're empowering the heart. You're empowering the heart.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it brings forth an energy that really does manifest into our reality. It really does. And call it attraction or manifesting or whatever it might be, when you have absolute conviction in your heart that you're going to do something and going to achieve something or experience something, then it will occur. You know?
Yeah. But we're attracting, Adrian, we're creating every single day, darling, all the time. Now, whether we're creating it consciously or unconsciously is the thing. Unconsciously, we're constantly creating, which is a lot of like from difficulties and accidents and all of that, because our vibration is also in that vibration that's also creating that. But when we become conscious, breath, heart, right, we're able to then be like, whoa, I'm going to co-create directed properly to the way I want it to be. Not feeling like it's been out of my hand. No, I am a co-creator. That means consciously I'm putting, because regardless I'm creating. And then what happens, something that, for example, before it took 6 months to happen, 3 months to happen, 1 month to happen. Now it's happening faster and faster because you're in the frequency of the heart, which is in the fabrics of all life. So everything gets pulled in very quicker because it's ultimately the white alchemy to be able to practice within yourself. That's all it is.
Sure, yeah.
It's pretty simple, actually, when you start really being in that space. Like, you don't do it because like things happen very quickly.
Definitely.
Because it's higher responsibility comes with it. Yeah.
And so, like you said, I think if you're really looking out there to achieve it, I still do it. I know it's going to be after 34 years of saying, I think, to say
That's
I feel there's a process, but I'm getting there. I feel that, like you said, the important thing is to be with Mother Earth, to be with nature, to go to the ocean, to be in the forest. That really helps, because a lot of people I've noticed who get bogged down with self-doubt, depression, etc., seem to then become really insular and they close themselves in and they really build comfort around themselves in the form of their home, television, their computer, social networking, etc. They use those elements in the wrong way, and a fear comes about actually going out and experiencing life. Because, like you said a little bit earlier, the deepest fear for us is experiencing our light. That's the hardest thing to do. So you really just like, whatever it might be, incremental or some baby steps, just getting yourself out there and even things like you said, even if you haven't partaken in any particular ceremony or you've got no integration to do, change your furniture around, repaint the walls or start a new hobby or do something different, something that takes you out of your line of reality that you're being processed in.
Yeah, so you're breaking your own matrix a little bit, and I feel the power of prayer, like morning prayers for me is I cannot. You've seen every morning that I was with you. First, before anything, first is self-honor, self-love. That space within me, recognizing my heart, recognizing Mother Earth, recognizing the heavens above, the whole team, and that power of prayer in that space, I feel is so essential. I'm a huge advocate about putting a little altar so that way morning, even if it's 5 minutes, you get up, you greet, you're taking the action step, right? In recognizing your own sacredness. If you cannot celebrate you, nobody can celebrate you. And with all due respect, without your purest self-love, pure self-love for you, you cannot serve your divine mission, your great work here. And our great work is together. So if somebody knows like I'm part of something bigger, but they're not doing their part, they're not going to be able to be of the highest service, for that. So, and a community becomes key. Being in community, dancing is huge. Movement is gigantic. Being able to allow the spirit move through the body, because spirit loves it. The spirit doesn't. When they dance, it's boring for them. That's why, like, when you dance, you feel so naturally high, right? Because spirit loves moving in this vehicle. And then the vibration raises to the highest level. Then you can see clearly through that flame of the heart right here. There's a flame we have in here that is pretty lit. And that is to show us to see through darkness, Adrian. That's right in the center of our heart chakra. And that when we say Holy Spirit, is that holy light, is that illumination of that light in here, which Yeshua was showing to all of us. It's not, I'm not going to bring religion or anything. It has nothing. It's the same heart that is in you, is in me, that's in another person across the earth. It's the same one. And that's that vehicle in which we can see through. But some of these bring us to our natural state, so we're not living in how do I want to say, in this harmony. You know something in you, this doesn't work for me anymore. You're going to have to find the courage to do it. Like, for example, in our goddess circles, a bunch of us have shifted lives, move, and it's because of that energy of support. We couldn't do it on our own, but when we came together, expressed it, that support gave us the courage to do it. Get in communities. You and I are big about that. Recognize small communities, being communities together. Don't do things alone. Alone, your part of alone is important, but you feel there's something bigger, you need to be in community. So the community support can help you deliver your work. And that way you don't feel alone. As humans, we're not designed to be alone. We're not.
Exactly. We're social animals. I mean, a baby dies if they're not touched from birth. You know, there's only a certain amount of time before, either don't, can't grow and progress in the right way if there's no human interaction, no human touch. It's such a vitally important aspect for us. But to go back to the work you need to do individually, which is also very important, I've really found, and you've helped me with this as well, with other people as well, but gratitude is a vitally important thing. If you're at a place in your life where you find it very hard to love yourself and you find it very hard to see anything within you that you find that's anything beauty, just be there and just gratitude is expression of love, and then gratitude is expression of love from the heart. So you might be grateful for your pet dog, or you might be grateful for your children, or something that if you can start with that and then look at bringing it towards yourself, because the ultimate is gratitude towards yourself. That's right. That's the hardest thing to be able to find and to.
Is it interesting?
It is, isn't it? Because we also get conditioned in this society that's egoistic to have gratitude for yourself, like that you maybe it's like being up yourself or something like that, you know. So we tend to shy away from, especially in Western culture, we tend to shy away from showing love to ourselves. And and a big thing that I've had to really battle through over the last 12 months is my ego in showing myself love, because I was the same as many other people. I wasn't brought up within a society that facilitated free expression and free love of our own individuality. So my understanding of love for myself was based on egoistic principles, like how good I was at sport, or how many women I could get in bed, or how funny I was, or whatever it might be, rather than the pure things that I'm able to do, my compassion, my kindness. And so, honey, it's been a battle, and I think it's only really been recently where I've been able to show complete gratitude and love for myself, but not have it based on ego. It's been tough, but that's to me, that it feels like it's like the ultimate individual goal. Like now that I'm in this position where I have absolute gratitude for myself, and I express it freely, and whether it's amongst one friend or a group of friends, or over the internet, the World Wide Webs, like we're doing now, it just feels so good to be able to do. And there's no self-doubt.
Oh, I'm glad you brought this up, Adrian, because this is a huge one, because that gratitude and love is being enmeshed improperly with something to do, like you mentioned, that there's this notion of sex around it, you know, that sexual energy, which is very strange. Love is not love vibration here is a very different energy. So it's so powerful because it's so independent, free from all of this. It is genderless. It is truly unconditional, and we have in our higher bodies, we recognize unconditional love because we come from that purity of vibration. When we come here, we sign agreements to come here through certain experiences, and some of us have been put in this position to be able to tap into that, and then like have the awakening, and then go through the transformation and be able to embody that, to recognize love is the purest state of our natural state. You know, how freely, easily you and I say we love each other and there's no sexual interaction. How many we have with Radi and all the other ones, like the love with our family in London, like it's the love is so pure. It's like we just want to celebrate each other because we are spirit to spirit, just loves being in each other's presence. There is no sexual energy. So
No.
because it's at the pure side, because it's not being governed. So let me just, there are two parts of this that I want to address, which I'm glad you did. So Arcturians had showed me one of the biggest challenges for humanity is when they first come, like say meet each other, they've been operating from the limited space, limited functioning, which the first is the root chakra meets each other. Then they want to interact right away from the root and the sacral together because there's a lot of weakness in both, disconnected and all of that. Then the power centers of the solar plexus meet. So that's how it lines up. But those are a lot of challenges in those vibrations. So it doesn't get into the love vibration. It doesn't, because it stays in the limited bodies. So it is the physical, emotional, mental bodies interacting, and it just doesn't come up higher. So Arcturians had shown me about a year and a half ago that the higher consciousness functions very differently. So like the way you and I interacted, I'm going to rephrase that, but hold on, I'm going somewhere with here. Let's not use you as an example. What kind of? So the way we came together was straight at the heart, not dropping in the lower chakra, straight at. So the foundation of our friendship is built of the highest level of love without boundaries, without limitations, without attached to anything. Pure love, right? Support and love. And then from there, we were able to speak so it was the fifth chakra and our power, being able to speak the truth and being able to express our will, finding power in here together, right? And then being able to, you and I haven't gone there, but feeling the sensual energy of our soul, our sacral, and the mind, the third eye, to be able to see the visions. We have interacted with that, just feeling that beautifulness between us, but not going. The next level would be going into the root chakra and the crown connecting. So, but you and I are in a different agreement, but we've been able to see how beautiful this is, how supportive it is, how amazing it is. And some people then will interact with these two centers, but some are not supposed to interact in that center. But this is a different level of functioning as humanity, because this is first connected to here, then it expands differently, much more balanced rather than vertical shooting up, and it doesn't even go up all the way. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes a good image that it sees. And then the other part of it is, I really want to just for a split of a few seconds, I want to spend this consciousness about unconditional love, Adrian, because it's something that took place inside of me, and it's been incredible. This unconditional love for us humans is very difficult because there's a lot of conditioning that from every avenue, we have learned to be conditioned. And then we've been going through the spiritual awakening, going through the cleansing, purification, and undoing all of these conditions so we can come back to our natural state when we first came in as a child. Natural state, pure state, right? Okay, so that condition, when we love, say there's a person that comes into our love that opens up that spark for us to love, it's not about that person. It's about the gift in which you have been granted to open up to you, open up the channels of divine love with you, that person happened to be the spark of that. Now, what happens is that we feel that, and then we're dependent on that person. So that's where we get thrown around, because if that person then, for whatever reason, isn't capable of sharing that back, that throws us off, and then our lower chakras get we're thrown. I mean, just not functioning. Then we want to shut the doors, and that's including myself. What I've, been experiencing with my twin flame, as you already know. But what happened was, in that recognition is been operating on a limited vibration, because it's been functioning on the outside. And as the energy brings in the inside into the core, you can love just for the purpose of loving. Insignificant, independent of that person can love or not. It's about the gift of you with that energy inside of you. So you can celebrate loving, and the more you love, you're just crazy loving, because it just feels so good to love. And it's genderless, there's no limitation in it. It's ultimate freedom. We're all seeking for freedom, but the freedom is in loving.
It is, honey, definitely. And this is a very good topic.
Very
good. And I
love
the way you discuss that. And something that some friends and I have been talking about a lot of late is that, when we get into a relationship or we find someone we truly love, I feel like it's changing, but there's been this notion for a long time that you're supposed to enclose that love. So now it's just the male, the female, the two, whoever it is, two people, doesn't matter, come together, they fall madly in love with each other. Okay, then they enclose that love, and then they're not allowed to show love to another human being, especially. And that is so stymieing of who we are. Like you said, when we meet someone who is able to really open up our heart, create that spark, it just gives us much more impetus and ability to be able to love even further and love others. And that's such an important thing and an absolute blessing and a gift for the human species to be able to do that. Like, what an amazing thing to be able to be touched literally, and then be able to bring this love out from us and then into just, as many people as we want around us. And that's the gift that a divine partner can give you. We need to move out of that paradigm of finding that partner and then straight away locking it down. People use that term a lot, locking it down, but we can't.
And I'm glad you mentioned, because I feel that there's a consciousness around that too. In this space, you can love. There's unlimited how you love, but love and sharing sacred union, two different things.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel because it becomes, then you love, and then you might be an individual that in that vibration recognizes a key and a lock to share this incredible, sensual, divine experience together, and in that still is a lot of freedom. There's no control in there. But often it just so happens, because it's so sacred, you feel drawn and pulled to want to share it with this person, not necessarily share it with others. But there's no locking. It's just the energy pool is so much stronger that the other ones don't vibrate that way for you to want to share it. You see, it becomes so sacred. It becomes sacred sensuality, very different, because you're operating from here. You're not first operating from your physical body. You're operating from the spirit body. Very different, and you're independent, because it's genderless to the power of the way you love. Like, like my sisters, my brothers, like the love I have is insane for them. But my physical vessel does not feel the key to engage with all of them in that way. You see what I mean? My physical vessel has an energy pool towards a significant individual, not. Those are two different. That's what I'm talking about. Those lower ends. You see, and it's so. And then that becomes, because what's important about that's the ultimate tantra. Tantra is not sexuality, which has been taught in the West. They're so far from it. because the pure sacredness of that vibration is lost in there. When you're able to your ultimate, and another one is then when you engage, what happens in that space, and everything around you, in like we go back again to like 15-17 mile radius, benefits from the vibration that you have come to, because then you are part of pulling in the highest vibration through you for the benefit of all. So it's beyond sex. You see what I mean? It's where your codes interact with each other. Everything spirals, and you're part of the entire creation. So we've heard about this. You experience divine. Exactly, because that's exactly what happens. It's the ultimate experience of being in the human body, bringing that presence inside of you. Very different experience, and you don't necessarily get that with all these people, as we've been changing multiple partners, because it's been operating from the limited. Very different, but very rich and delicious, I must say, you know? A whole different way of functioning, yeah. And beautiful, just beautiful.
Yeah, it is definitely, yeah. Honey, I think that's a really good way to round out the podcast. What do you think?
I feel.
How do you feel about it, honey?
I feel it's amazing. I feel the unconditional love is the ultimate mastery level. I feel like that's the space I'm in. Can I love truly unconditionally, despite what is, taking place outside? And that is the space that I've just moved really into embodying it, because I travel so much, and of course all sorts of things, being super highly sensitive, do have an impact. So usually I have certain things to be able to, how do I want to say, like for me to be in a more state of balance, right? So I can do my higher work. And I've just stepped into this place. I don't even want that anymore, because I'm diving even deeper to be so core, so grounded in that love vibration, in the absolute depth inside, that I'm completely even independent from that. And I feel that's been giving me even more sense of freedom. I can't even hide my joy. I'm like, this is amazing. This is like my ultimate mastery level. I'm really excited to marinate more in this space, and because then I'm able to articulate it usually again, like what the higher teaching in this is, as I'm going through it myself. So I feel that's a great place to wrap up, as you and I share such profound, pure love space, and so excited to see you in London again, and with the family, and just share that joy we share together, and bring that energy to everything around us, just for the pure purpose of being ourselves and loving each other, loving ourselves, loving another. Such an ultimate gift. They always say you don't have to. Masters always say it's not in your doing. You just need to be. I'm really getting this slowly myself too.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you so much, Adrian, for this gift, giving me the opportunity to do that. And I really invite people to stay connected with me on Facebook, because that's the easiest, as I'm in so many different countries.
Yes. How can they contact you in different Facebook and...
No, just the Facebook is Honi Borden, author, speaker, healer. My website is honiborden.com. Facebook is the easiest one, my public page. And then I'll be in, I'm coming to London. I'll be actually in Nice first, end of May, and then Barcelona first week of June, and then London. And in there, I'm teaching the Ancient Sacred Breath #3, as well as I'm also teaching the yoga trance dance, which is with Shiva Ray, which is the meditative experience of being in the body and movement, to experience higher dimensional bodies. So I'll be teaching those in all 3 countries, and of course facilitating the QHHT regressions. So that's what's coming up. And if anybody feels called to it, get in contact with me, and we'll see if I can organize to, be of service there.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. I'll put some links up as well. So your Facebook page, and you cut out a little bit there, but honiborden.com is also your website.
Yeah,
But
honeymoon.com.
people
But
should go through to your
Facebook
Facebook. It's easier.
yeah, it's so
Yeah,
much easier. But through my website, they'll see some of the services that I provide.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds good. Yeah, well, thank you very much, honey, for, I feel so blessed and so fortunate. This is probably the most serious I've ever been in a conversation with you.
Yeah,
We're
sure. I was
doing
like,
this for a
why?
podcast. But
I was
I'm
like,
very fortunate that I get to have these conversations with you most days, really. Like, we do catch up quite often, and I just can't. No, I can believe how lucky I am. I need to stop. I need to change my language on that. I can believe how lucky I am. I'm a very fortunate man, and
you're very
yeah,
blessed
I am very
because
blessed.
you're a divine, sacred man, Adrian. Like I told you from day one, you are positioned in a very important place. You're part of being a way shower of a sacred man, a divine sacred man that is balanced in both axes to also show you the way. So I'm so honored to know you. I'm so honored to have been a witness to your transformation and the great work that you're doing for everybody else. Like you recognize you're part of the service, and it's incredible. And I feel very, very blessed to be able to assist all these sacred men that I happen to share this 1 week space with, where they go through the transformation, then they can spread that. I feel the key, us women we know what to do,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah,
but you men need a lot of love, a lot of support. And I feel if I were to say anything to our women, it's time to support the men. It's time to love you all unconditionally with everything we got, so you guys can really rise to your true nature. But it's through that love and support you're safe to step into your true power. And I'm so honored to be one of the women in your life, to love you so much and be a witness to your magnificence. It's beautiful.
yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Thank you, honey. Yeah, and to add to that, yes, I'm very fortunate to have. This sounds, I know this may sound, but many women in my life who
Yeah.
are just like I won't talk about it. I'll just feel it, because even talking about it can't do
And
justice to the feeling and appreciation I have for the women and also the men in my life. Like, I do have
yeah.
a very fortunate life, but also I have to admit too that I've worked hard for it as well. I've put
Yes,
in
you
the
have.
steps, like we all have, like you have, like
Yep.
Lati has, like Neil, Janita, SJ.
Yes.
It doesn't come easy, you
No.
do have to put the work in. That's one thing I really implore for everyone out there. It's not necessarily always an easy ride.
No.
It can be very fun as well, but there's going to be some times where you're going to have to like force yourself and put some steps in yourself, and that's where the character comes in, and that's where you find your true self.
Exactly. See, the thing is, your personality is here, but you have like like when we did the human design job, the unconscious part of you is already there. They want to come forward. So you're going to have to do the work, individual work, then we do the group work together. And
Yeah,
it is for men to recognize, I feel the most important part for our sacred divine masculine men to recognize that you're more powerful when you allow yourself to be received and
yeah,
allow help. You're not a weak man, you're a stronger man to allow many women again to come to support you, want to love you. When you have a lot of that female support, it's important for every man, they need several women to support them.
yeah.
Again, I'm not talking about sexually, I'm talking about the supporting, loving, nurturing energy. And it's beautiful to allow yourself to receive it, and other men. Like it's very important. And so
Definitely,
you
honey.
guys work. Yeah.
That's a
So
very good point. I
blessings.
also want to acknowledge that he's asking for help and being okay with that. My very good brother Steph sent me an article this afternoon about that very subject, about the battles men go through as children, adolescents, into
Yeah.
adulthood, and constructs that get placed around us, and that we place ourselves in as well. And one of the best things we can do is ask for help. And once you've done that, it just really releases you, and it allows you to really step into your true being and your true essence. And I guess for me, consciously making that decision to start asking for help a few years ago has led me to where I am now. And, it was a very important thing. Yeah. So to all the men out there as well.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And you show that, and same as me in my goddess circles, one of the things, because I had to break through that with me, because I'm a very strong woman. I've been able to do so much on my own and beautiful. But in order to do the greater work, I've had to break through myself and learn I need help to do this.
Sure.
So, and that's when you become humbled, because the mind is like, you're strong, you can do it. And God knows I've been great at it, but there comes a point, no, the work is so much bigger, which the mind cannot handle. Yeah. I need to get humbled, receive help so I can be of higher service.
Lovely.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Honi. To everyone out there again, Honi Borden, look for her on Facebook, and we can sort everything out from there. I think Honi and I were going to continue our conversation after this and have a bit of a chat about what's been going on in our lives the last few days. It's been a feeling that it's been quite intense for both of us, but in a very good way. So looking forward to that. But that will be in private. Sorry to everyone.
Yeah, and Facebook, connect with me, and I look forward to being back in Australia. I do have to come to Australia, New Zealand's coming up, Hawaii. I mean, there's just so many different places, Philippines. So just stay connected with me, and wherever I can connect with you, be of service, I am. And please, for those of you that do send me Facebook messages, please know I'm few days sometimes behind, just because I'm in between so much travel. Just patience. I really appreciate it. I'm getting one by one to everyone, so I just want to announce that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honi. Yes,
okay.
And thank you very much to everyone else out there as well listening to this tonight, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Hi, sweetie. Is it done?
Hello. It is. Hang on.
I know.
That was amazing.